Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So up until now, we've been talking about how to refute a text, right? So you have an article, you look at the weaknesses in the argument. Remember, you're looking at why how the argument is ineffective, not disagreeing with the content. So now we're going to be switching gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about counterclaims, which is essentially the opposing viewpoint to the article, right? So we'll look at that in just a second.
But the plan for this week, just so everybody knows, is on Thursday, you will have your draft due to the Refutation peer review discussion board. These will be the same groups that you were with last week when you were looking at the sample student essay. So you guys should already know each other and hopefully feel comfortable doing our peer review. So you'll have 7 paragraphs total. You'll follow the outline, and we're going to take what we've had that Dr. Thayer and I are going to give you guys feedback on, and you're going to add your 2 counterclaim body paragraphs as well as your conclusion. So everyone will post that on Thursday. You guys will have from Thursday until Monday to do your discussion board responses. So you'll have a list of questions that you'll be responding to, like we did for the rhetorical analysis essay for your partners. And then by Thursday, you need to turn in your peer review reflection. So we give you guys a little bit of extra time for that, but you are welcome to turn that assignment in early as well if you get it completed. So let's talk about counterclaims.
Okay. So a counterclaim is when you're looking at an opposing viewpoint, but you're also you're using credible research in order to look at it, right? So it's essentially the counter to the author's claim. So that's why, remember in that outline, in that introduction part, it says, what is the author's central argument? It's important to understand what they are arguing so you can provide the counter to it. So in the text that you're refuting, right, what would the opposition be? And what research could be used to illustrate that opposition, okay? So you're going to come up with a bunch of different counters. You're going to say, well, here's a counterclaim and here's a counterclaim, because there's a lot of different reasons why somebody would disagree with an argument. You just want to focus on the 2 strongest, right? The ones that you know you could provide credible research in support of. Those are going to make the strongest counterclaim paragraphs.
So let's give you guys an example that'll help. So if I were writing an essay where I was refuting an article that argued all college students should wear uniforms, and yes, there are colleges that do that for a number of different reasons, like that they think that it helps students prepare for the professional workforce. But anyways, I could come up with the following sort of counterclaims to this that I could use: that a college level dress code is not enforceable, right? What a student wears to class does not correlate to student success. So why should I bother doing this? Like, that's unfair. A college level dress code removes diversity for the sake of sameness, which is counter to the principles of higher learning, where we should be looking at a multitude of diverse perspectives. We could keep going on, but you get it. There are tons of different ones. So I would want to pick whichever ones I think are the strongest, and then I can find research to help support my counterclaims.
Absolutely.
Anything that?
No.
Okay, moving on.
So this is a sample counterclaim paragraph to the article or the essay that was being refuted, right? So let's take a look at it and see how the writer is bringing in a counter and then also bringing in research. So the initial argument was that technology is like bad, right? Like technology is not really helpful, blah, 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 blah. So that kind of argument. So it says today's technologies have even allowed people to increase their overall quality of living. Right. So my point's really focused here on how technology helps overall quality of living. For instance, 3D printing is one of the latest technological inventions and has already been utilized in some awe-inspiring manners. Scientific researcher at Rochester Institute of Technology, John Shull, uses 3D printing capabilities to create hand prosthetics for children free of charge. He explains, a prosthetic arm these days costs about $40,000. 1 in 2,000 kids are born with some kind of an arm or hand abnormality. They don't get prosthetics because it makes no sense to spend $40,000 on something they're going to outgrow in a year. With a 3D printer, we can start making these things almost for nothing. So there we have research to show how technology is improving one's overall quality of living.
And also, one other thing to notice that the student did really well there was the way that they brought in their research, right? They said who John Shull was. They said scientific researcher at Rochester Institute of Technology. Wow, it's almost as if the student was using one of the rhetorical appeals there, Dr. Thayer. Which one would that be?
Oh, let's see. Borrowing somebody else's credibility. That would be ethos.
That's correct.
Absolutely. So now we go into that explanation. With this current technology, children around the world can acquire prosthetics that they desperately need to develop their gross and fine motor skills. Utilizing current technologies, such as the 3D printing capabilities, people of all socioeconomic backgrounds are able to reap the benefits. The affordability of advanced modern technologies is something Turkle, who was the original author of the piece, does not address at all, as she overlooks just how the latest technologies can be utilized to improve someone's overall quality of life. This oversight leads one to question just how well-versed she is regarding the implications of the most recent technological advancements. So it's important to see here, not only are we providing a counter to Turkle's initial claim, but we bring Turkle back in that explanation, because otherwise it doesn't feel like this counter would be in conversation with her argument. So in your explanations, you want to connect it back to how this is a counter to the original text you're refuting.
Yes, that is very important. Otherwise, these paragraphs feel completely unmoored in your essay.
Yes.
So in order to find research, I'm sure you guys talked about this in 1101. So here's a quick refresher of how you can get there. If you go on Canvas, on the left-hand menu bar, you should see a thing that says Library Research Guides. You'll click on that. You'll get a screen that says ENC 1102 and then a supplemental reader. You will click on the first one that says ENC 1102. When you get in there, you'll see this page with our lovely faculty librarian, Sillalot, and you will click where it says Articles and Databases. That should take you to this final page here. And Dr. Thayer and I will link some help videos that show you how to get to probably two of the ones that are most used by our students, which are Opposing Viewpoints, as well as Academic Search Complete.
Well, and SIRS Issues Researcher too. I've had quite a few students look at that one too. They're all really, really good resources to help find credible research for that opposition, for that counterclaim.
The Opposing Viewpoints one can also be helpful in brainstorming counterclaim ideas too.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Because it always has, if you type in your issue, it'll have both sides sort of each, a pro and con really. Okay, so that's how you can find your research. The other thing you want to do is go back to your outline. So you can look at the counterclaim and conclusion sections, as these will help you as you're writing your draft and these sections on the draft.
Yeah, so you don't need to resubmit your outline. You do, however, want to go back to the outline and use this as the model for those last paragraphs. And you'll see here where in the illustrations of each one, it says this is the evidence used to support your counter. You should include specific research. You want to make sure that you have specific research for each one of your counterclaims, 2 different sources.
Okay, so remember your draft is due on Thursday. Let's look at the chart actually. So your draft is due on Thursday. So you're adding your counterclaim and your conclusion and revising your intro and refutation body paragraphs based on our feedback. On Monday, you will need to respond to your group mates. And on Thursday, your reflection is due. Oh, we forgot to add. What time is it?
Oh, it's Easter egg time! Woo! Ray gets extra credit! Okay, so for extra credit this week, why don't you email me, you guys? Oh, okay. After COVID, what is your dream vacation? Where do you want to go?
Where do you want to go?
I want to go, I don't know, somewhere like Caribbean. No, not Caribbean. Greece. Greece would be nice.
Okay.
Like the Greek Isles.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd like to go literally anywhere. Anywhere. United States,
like
Europe,
New Jersey.
I would literally go to New Jersey. I would go anywhere.
I mean, no shade for anybody from New Jersey. My husband's from New Jersey, but also like
my brother lived in New Jersey.
Lived past tense.
I mean, my dream vacation would be to go to New Zealand, but I don't think they're letting us in right now.
Just a little heads up. Also, if you email Miss Fletcher, she'll send you a video of her amazing Australian accent. She thinks she has a really good one.
I'll have a great Australian accent.
It's not good at
all. I hope you all have a great day.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so don't forget the extra credit. Don't forget the assignments for this week. Have a good one.
Bye.